Melbourne Cup of 2001, about 25 minutes away. This is a time-honoured tradition. There's young Darren Beedman. The jockeys being introduced to the crowd. They usually get a huge cheer. Of course, if you're on the horse, you get a bigger cheer. And I tell you what, despite the weather, there's not a bad crowd here today at all. I'm not even going to estimate, because there's about 15,000 out on Saturday, so I won't even try and estimate it for you. But as the people of Melbourne usually do, they come down to the Cup, and of course people here from all over Australia and indeed all around the world. Let's check the totes at the moment. Danny Malecki, if you would. I think Danny's up there, so I might do them for you. There you go. Sky Heights at $6. Caetano there, $55.40. They don't like Caetano much. Give the Slip. Marion Bard there at $22. Yippee-I-O, $15. Freemason there as well. Curator Storm, Mr. Prudent, Pastor Express, of course, out of the race. Ethereal, $9.80. Hill of Grace, $20.30. Inner Flurry, $36.40. Big Pat, $10. Plenty of money for Big Pat. Reenact, $89.70. Karatzi, $35. Bit of a word around about Karatzi, I can tell you. May the horse be with you. Plenty of support for it. $11.60 as the people of Melbourne gather for this wonderful race. This great race of 3,200 metres, 2 miles. Umbrellas are up again, but the smiles are still on the faces. Tim Gossage, what are they putting their money on down where you are?
Tim, Sky Heights is the favourite for the Melbourne Cup. It has been since betting opened basically this morning. Bit of a drifter is Ethereal. Rain Gauge way down the bottom is also considered a chance. Persian Punch is the best of the overseas horses, and I can tell you that the best back runner in the last 15 minutes has been number 23 Rum. It has shortened about 4 points, so you're getting unders on the tote at the moment. I can tell you it has been the best back runner at big each way odds, but at the moment the best money is for Sky Heights in the Melbourne Cup.
Tim, before you go, this is one of the most open you've ever seen?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some open races, but I mean, Sky Heights has always been at the top of the market. Carpstad Way was a 50-to-1 chance when it got dropped out, Tim, but very open race.
It sure is. Everyone has a thought. This Melbourne Cup, let's go down quickly to Mark Aston in this drama-charged week.
Andre Schultz is the trainer of Caetano, the German horse. Andre, first of all, welcome to Australia. Sorry about the weather.
Yeah, thank you very much. We thought we would have fast ground and good weather here in Australia, but it turned out to be not like this.
No, we're a bit disappointed, but nonetheless, we get on with it. Now, what about the track? Will it suit Caetano?
I think it will, yes. He liked a bit of rough cut in the ground, and the big track will suit him because it's as big as anything else in Germany is. And so you like it.
How's he sort of settled in and his last week or so? Has he been okay?
Yeah, he settled in very well. He's come good out of the race at the Cox Plate, and he's been working well, so I'm very happy with him.
Where would you like him to settle?
Well, somewhere between 4th and 8th.
And perhaps first over the line?
That's right, yes.
Andre, welcome to Australia. Good luck in what is a wonderful race, and it's been a wonderful carnival so far.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you indeed. Thank you, Mark Aston. Does great work down there, and he's been able to capture plenty of the drama that's been around this week. And hasn't there been some drama? It's been one of those weeks, but it is Melbourne Cup week. We expect that. A little bit of drizzle falling, but as I said, if you live near this racecourse, come on down. You can't miss this. It's just one of the great sporting events of the world, not just of Australia. Peter Donegan, I don't know about you, but well, I do know about you. You'll be exactly the same as me. I just get the whole adrenaline firing through the system. It's great, isn't it?
It is, Tim. Every year. It's always so exciting. And every year, this is a moment that we love to look forward to. Jen, touch it for luck.
Oh, touch it. And it's a bit heavier this year, too.
Now, the most famous trophy in all of Australian sport. It is worth $60,000 this year. It is the Tui's new Melbourne Cup, and tonight there's going to be a lot of champagne in this, and it's going to sit proudly on the mantelpiece of the Winning Connections later on this evening. Wouldn't you love to have one of these? Well, the connections of the winner will take away that famous trophy this afternoon. The runners are about to come down towards the mounting yard. Jen, just a little background on what has happened in the lead up to the Tui's new Melbourne Cup so far, and the drama started on Saturday when Universal Prince finished a long way back in one of the lead ups to the McKinnon Stakes, and there was some suggestion he might have been a sore horse.
Well, he was found to be sore, and he's off hind, Peter, and of course they've had 3 veterinary inspections of this horse. 3 vets have a look at the horse, and they've decided that he was not fit to run. The trainer, Beat Murray, did want to run him, so there's been A lot of sadness for Bede because he's obviously had this horse prepared for this race. A lot of people have backed him in pre-post markets, and unfortunately he did have to come out.
That drama continued right through until around 7 o'clock this morning, and Bede Murray was close to tears when the decision was made. Then, of course, the rain continued to fall here at Flemington, and all of a sudden Chris Wood, the trainer of last year's favourite Carpstad Way, had a dilemma on his hands because his horse is just no good in this sort of going.
No, he ran on Saturday too, Peter, Carpstad Way, and he was found to be a little bit footsore on the very hard track. And of course, rain today, he just doesn't like it, and he doesn't go an inch in it. So there's no point in sending a horse around that really doesn't have a chance in it.
I wonder what would be going through the mind of that gentleman, Colin Alderson, in the glasses. 2 years ago, he stood in this very mounting yard, and he had the favourite in the Melbourne Cup, Sky Heights. He's going around again today, but 2 years ago, he was smashed from pillar to post in one of the roughest Melbourne Cups we've ever seen.
Yes, and he was injured too in that race, Peter, but he looks to be back in his very best form, having been narrowly beaten there in the Caulfield Cup by Ethereal, and he's going to be a very good chance. I'm sure Colin will love the fact that we've had a fair bit of rain today as well.
We're going to talk a little bit about Ethereal when we see her. She is the horse that won the first of our big handicap races for those people in various parts of the world. She won the Caulfield Cup. She's trained by a lady called Sheila Laxon. Her husband, Laurie Laxon, won the Melbourne Cup with Empire Rose back in 1988. And 3 years later, Sheila nearly died when she was involved in a terrible race fall in New Zealand.
Yes, it's an amazing story, and she is a lovely person, Sheila. We wish her all the best. Look, she's got a fantastic, classy mare there going out in the Melbourne Cup today and has a really good live hope in it.
What about some of the other stories, Jen, going into the Melbourne Cup? The overseas horses. Every year they've come out since Vintage Crop blazed the trail back in 1993. They've tried and they've failed. The closest they've got was Central Park in 1999. Is it going to be the year for the overseas horses?
Well, quite possibly, Peter. I mean, you know that most of these overseas horses generally do handle a bit of give in the ground because that's where they're trained. Marion Bard, you heard Frankie Dettori saying before that he does think this horse is a bit better over 2 miles than Central Park, and that sort of opinion you would have to respect. Give the Slip has been used as a pacemaker for Fantastic Light, who is one of the best horses in the world, and he gets his chance to steal that glory, I would say, today.
12 months ago, Karen McAvoy was not, or he just turned 20 years of age. He won the Melbourne Cup. Today, having just turned 21 only a couple of weeks ago, he might win it back to back. What a remarkable achievement that would be. He rides Rain Gauge.
Yes, he's got a terrific chance on Rain Gauge. Rain Gauge is a horse that is not bred to run the 2 miles, but he won the Moonee Valley Cup in such great fashion that you would have to give him a really strong show here today. He does look like a stayer when you see him conformation-wise, and he's got a live chance. He's with a master trainer, George Hamlin.
And what about old Yippee-I-O, an 8-year-old? There have been only 2 8-year-olds have ever won the Melbourne Cup, and the last one was way, way back. In fact, it was back in 1938 that Catalogue won it, and the previous one, Jen, I don't quite remember it, Tory Boy in 1865. So he's got facts and figures against him, but the punters just love him.
Well, Peter, he comes right into it now that we've had some rain, because he's had 11 starts on the rain-affected tracks, and he's won 5 of those. So you know he's going to stay, you know he likes the wet ground, and he's got to be a live chance.
Shortly, the horses will make their way from the top right of your screen, the bird cage, down to the mounting yard. And will that man train his 4th Melbourne Cup winner? George Hanlon, the master trainer of stayers at 84 years of age, is on the verge of one of his biggest moments in racing. We head to a break. When we come back, we'll look at all of the 22 runners in the 2001 Tooheys New Melbourne Cup. You're watching it from Flemington, the course of history, live around Australia and in many parts of the world through Network 10.